that sort of pace, and here we go. Time to dig deep, and Vakoc wants to set a marker out here, and I think this will be for Phil Gill. See how far back he is. 9.5 from home, and there's a real pace about it at the moment. Look how strung out they are. As soon as you get round that technical roundabout, and it certainly was, it squeezed them. De Venyans and Tony Martin on the nose for now. Waiting for the big turn to come to our climb, and in fact not that much road to play with at the moment. They're strung out, no wind today, Brian, and that's possibly a blessing for some.
Yeah, no wind and rain, but certainly a lot of racing to be done. Just swinging left now, Devon Hines and Tony Martin. Tony Martin has done what a huge ride today. You could see he was starting to get stronger as this race goes on. But nobody letting him go. Gorka Izagiri coming up here, Nathan on the wheel. Everybody's now starting to think of this next climb coming up and the push for the finishing line as well.
Looming large, as you can see, the German champion here, Markus Berg, got this year. So used to seeing Greipel in those colours, and here's Tom Dumoulin. Well, if you're wanting a man who's casting a large, long shadow over low country cycling at the moment, then look no further. That was interesting. Valgren, I think, is just going over to the other side of the road, trying to keep in touch with the man from Katusha. I think it's Niels Pollitt with his rangy style, with 8.4 kilometres to go. The Belgian champion as well, don't rule him out today. Ollie Nason's been shining brightly on occasion, but with these rolling punches that come off the front, somebody thinks they can go from distance. They might be right, Brian. Yeah,
good time trialist, Joos van Emden for Lotto NL Jumbo. Pollitt trying to come across to him, but yeah, we've seen Tony Martin have a crack at this. Joos van Emden, he's been very, very quiet in this race, having a go for Lotto NL Jumbo, and he's got Niels Pollitt just for company. But just behind, you can see the blue jerseys now stacking up the front of the main group now. I think Gilbert will possibly have a go before we come into the Moor.
Are you going to pick Gilbert today?
Sagan.
You go for Sagan? I think I'll go for Phil Gill. I'd love to see the pair of them having a dig at each other. It'll happen. 7.7 then from home at the moment. Philippe Gilbert being teed up rather nicely, as you can see. But for the time being, it's Van Emden and Pollitt who find themselves on the front. 7.5 to go, and in fact we're 1,400 metres from the top of the Denderode. 700 metres, 8%. It's a nasty sapper, and as you can see, Tom Dumoulin looms into view. He's in the top 5. He's keeping tabs on Wellens, and no mistake. And here's your turn, Brian. We're going to be climbing.
Yeah, it's a smaller group now, still all together. Joos van Emden and Niels Pollitt just about caught by the group led by Quick Step Floors. A couple of twists and turns now as we start to head towards the final climb of the Dendereursberg, 700 metres at 8%, and then it'll be fast all the way to the finish in Geroldsberg, and with that climb up of 600 metres at 7.6%.
And that little downhill section there with the off camber, no wonder that house is for sale. I imagine there's been the odd vehicle come and visit for tea. Yes, yeah, sketchy moment, but if it's in the wet, thankfully it's been dry today. Just heading up and over one of the big drainage dikes in this part of the world, the wooden bridge giving a rattle. And 6.6 to go, not quite climbing just yet, but we're about to start. So the Denderode-berg, finally got it, 700 metres, followed almost immediately by the Moor, of which we finish halfway up. We're only 6.3 from home, Brian. This is the pointy end. Yeah, the race obviously can be won and lost in this next climb. And it is all strung out. You just see Devon Hines get blown off the back, and also Tony Martin, who's been in the break all day and on the attack as well. So it's all kind of stringing out. Yves Lampaert, it was on the front for Quick Step Floors, but now Mads Pedersen is looking to set up Jasper Stuyven. Mads, and you have to be looking at the incline that we're dealing with. Thankfully, the cobbles here, you'd think they were quite benign. They're round, almost pebble like these, and quite small. They're set into concrete, so they don't rattle Unlike the bars and indeed the shock absorbers, which are the elbows at such moments, as you can see, there's a great deal of tremor going through the arms of the riders. And Peter Sagan suddenly hoves into view on the right-hand side of our screen. Over on the other side of the road, Michael Valgren as well, starting to dig in for glory. This is it, Brian, the pointy end of the day, and in fact, that is the point. It is the big names who are coming to the fore right now, none bigger than Peter Sagan, who's threading a needle at the moment. Greg van Avermaet goes aware of the danger. GVA goes off the front, and Peter Sagan is on his case right now. Kerkelaer also staying in for the fun, and there's Tom Dumoulin. Peter Sagan, though, picks it up and drives into the incline, and he's not going to hold back now.
No, he's not going to hold back at all, and gaps starting to appear. Big effort by Greg van Avermaet. The race leader has now distanced Tim Wellens as well. He's got Sutherland and Kerkelaer on his wheel.
Kerkelaer just struggling to stay with that trio. Tom Dumoulin checks over his shoulder, can't see anything, looks back, sees Valgren and Van Mark hovering into view, but Wellens is nowhere to be seen. This bodes well for Dumoulin, and Sagan looks at Van Avermaet and says, come on, let's do this together. At least surely you want second place more than fifth or sixth. Van Avermaet accepts the challenge. They'll be duking it out late on. Further back here in that quartet, you can see as well, we've got Lars Bohm, or is it Jos van Emden, beg your pardon, and along with Philip Gilbert as a quartet trying to get back in. 4.9 kilometres then from home. Brief respite in hostilities and a look over. It's how much do you want it? That's the question that's being asked, albeit silently at the moment. Kerkelaer from Orica is in here as well. Yash Sutherland likewise from Movistar, and there it is, Tom Dumoulin as well, as the graphics man tries to reassemble, and here comes Tim Wellens trying to get back on and at least prove something to Tom Dumoulin, the leader, that he's close at hand. Change of pace by Kerkelaer, who just drives on. It may well be somebody like him who takes the day. 4.4 from home. They haven't got the most testy part of the Muur up to the chapel. We're finishing in the square, just in advance of it before the end of today, but there's only 4.3 kilometres left of today's racing. And Peter Sagan versus Greg van Avermaet as well, as that's actually come up onto the nose right now. Wow, what a finish.
Yeah, it's not finished yet. 4.1 kilometres still to go. But Tim Wellens, that was a big effort, trying to come up to the front group with Tom Dumoulin in it. But Van Koch now, the Czech rider for Quick Step Floors, just trying to drift off the front here. A lot of them are on oxygen jets, but you know, the stage went up for grabs, and it looks like Michael Valgren is on a good day, trying to come across to him.
Valgren goes, and I think Tom Dumoulin's on the chase at the moment. We'll get beg your pardon, is it? It is. Well, after all our criticism yesterday, he may well just take it today, and he grits his teeth, has a look round him. It's a select group that he's quite happy with, and in fact it's the sprightly Ollie Nason it was that bridged over. Apologies for that. And here we go. This is fantastic. Peter Sagan is wondering which moves to follow at the moment.
Well, he has to follow this one. Stuyven can go all the way. He's done it in the past, so if he swings over and nobody comes through, Stuyven could be putting his hands up in the air, because he's a strong rider and can deliver.
My goodness, and look at this. And Peter Sagan says, this is not my duty. I'm fed up with this race. Somebody else is going to have to do it. And there he goes. And he just flat hands it. Says, no, I'm not going to follow. If you want it, go for it, and then I'll come and join the fun. But I'm not doing it on my own. My goodness, Peter Sagan. And he kind of looked almost precocious there. Can we say that? And in fact, he's not following this move. He's actually did the flat hand wave, as if to say, to hell with it. And Jesper Stuyven has trimmed off the nose with 2.8 to go.
He is, and he's strong enough to deliver this one. It really depends on the other riders behind. If they want to try and win this stage, they have to make an effort. They can't all sit on Peter Sagan. As you said, Sagan was just had none of it. He tried to come. He tried to follow all the attacks, and you can only follow so many. But yeah, nobody wanted to ride behind, and Stuyven in a good opportunity here to take his second stage win for Trek Segafredo.
Van Koch has set the alarm bells going. He and Yash Sutherland are doing most of the chasing now. Peter Sagan is so disgusted with those around him. He's basically just kicked over the punch bowl, as it were, and he's decided no. And there he is. You can see him. He's just easing out his shoes at the moment, or is he tightening them up? not quite sure. Bottom of your screen, but Sutherland's clean away here. 1.9 from home, and Peter Sagan's not playing by the looks of it, Brian.
Yeah, Ted Toynes, it looks as if it comes to the front, but Stuyven has got a great opportunity now. More reinforcements coming from behind, starting to get back on, and I think if there's any teammates from any of the riders that are there thinking of the stage when they have to get to the front, because 10 seconds is enough for Stuyven to try and stay away.
Yeah, it most certainly is. So there's minor seconds up for grabs. That plays into the hands, minor seconds only, that plays into the hands of the likes of Tom Dumoulin, and I think it's Belgian champion, is it again, Ollie Nason, who picks it back up for AG Tour La Mondiale. Meanwhile, Sutherland is having some fun. 1,300 metres. He took great advantage there of the fact that Peter Sagan was just fed up of people leaning on him. He can't put every fire out. He's not a sapeur-pompier, as they say, and quite frankly, I don't now expect to see Peter Sagan at the pointy end. I'm just having a scan through here, trying to pick him out. He's in the centre of this group. He basically just got fed up with this race. Simple as that. I think it was the final straw. Here comes the rise into town, and Sutherland, Jesper Stuyven, I think is going to have his fun right now. And here he is. The whistles are blowing, and they're all for this man.
Yeah, Markus Burkhardt, the German champion, came to the front and done his last turn. That's all he can do. But now we're on the main street, heading up towards the final kind of 600 metres now. Stuyven is strong enough to try and deliver this stage. It really depends on if anybody from behind, and I think only Peter Sagan can manage to close this gap. It does look as if Stuyven's taking the second stage win of Trek Segafredo in the BinckBank Tour.
Yeah, indeed. He's on the incline right now. He'll come into the market square as it opens up. The famous sausage shop on your left. Oh my goodness, they were trying to I think they were winding in the camera bike there, but he had a look at it. So did I. Almost distracted. Here we are then. He takes that final 90-degree. He's got the ramp to bring him home, and I think it's minor places for just about everybody else, and this is a protection job as well going on for Tom Dumoulin. His teammate will hoover up some of the spare points. Let's look back into this group. They're battling for it, but with 200 metres to go, I think he's timed it absolutely perfectly. Philippe Gilbert's up towards the fore. Here comes Tom Dumoulin as well, winding it up round the outside. Gilbert next to him, shoulder to shoulder. Out front, I think Jesper Stuyven is going to bring this one home right now. Here's your final turn. But the big turn on the day, I think, was essentially done by Tom Dumoulin, who mixed it up late on. Here's Peter Sagan just wrestling himself back in and up towards the fore. It's all too late, I think, to deny Jesper Stuyven, who timed it beautifully. There he is. He holds his arms up. Philippe Gilbert crosses well. Tom Dumoulin punches the air, knowing that he's taking the title. Peter Sagan gets fourth place on the day and sort of drops his head as if to start grumbling almost immediately. But Jesper Stuyven takes another individual push and timed it absolutely perfectly. Lars Bohm did it in stage 5 in the run into Sitar, and he has done it today. Well done, Jesper Stuyven. Great timing, great rider, and a great stage win for him. We'll be back to ponder the approach and what this man did after this break. Welcome back. Great winner today, Brian. He gave it all, but at the right time.
Yes, an exceptional performance. We've seen him do things like this in the past, and he's tried at other times. Very, very strong rider, and a rider he can't really let go. And Sagan knew that. He tried to limit his gap when he initially went away, but when he swung over, I said at the time, if nobody comes through now, then it could be all over, and it was. Okay, it was close in the end, and it was a huge effort, but he did go at the right time, and he got his just rewards.
He did. Did it the Kern-Brussels-Kern last year, you might remember.
That was from way out, though. That was
yeah, that was some distance,
way out.
But this was an entire. Still great heart, and shows that he's just rolling in the energy when he needs to. Clever rider, the Belgian, 25 years of age, and does it today. And look at who he beat. Philippe Gilbert finished strongly. Tom Dumoulin takes the title. Peter Sagan in fourth. Ahead of Chase Benoot, Nason van Avermaet, Lalagno Smith, and Dylan van Baal. And I think Tim Wellens, after that clever move by Tom Dumoulin for the intermediate sprint seconds, knew that it was too much of a task to shake off Tom Dom up this incline.
Yeah, on the over the top of the Nordberg, he was you know, really toiling to stay with the Dumoulin group and had to make an effort to come across. So it was a big effort. But that man there, the Danish champion, made a huge impact today, helping the Stuyven onto the climb where he attacked over the top. So it was a good effort by Mads Pedersen today to try and to deliver the stage win, and they got it in the end.
Well, everyone's back in town apart from the belly display team we've just seen up there by the chapel. Here's our winner. I'm hoping we're going to be able to hear the interview.
Well, he doesn't talk.
He doesn't, lets his legs do the talking. There we are. May well be having a chat in a moment. They're going to need a big towel and a whole load of cologne to make him acceptable for the podium. He certainly has got a sweat on. Here's your finale, Brian.
Yeah, at this stage, he only had to keep on going. The big acceleration from behind, but he still had enough of a gap to kind of hold on. Okay, 1 second, but it was a huge effort from him when you consider the quality of the group behind. But it was onto the square here just before the finish. Soren Kragh Andersen leading Dylan van Baal. Greg van Avermaet trying to come up in the right-hand side. Pires again, who eventually finished third, was there or thereabouts. I think he was just a little bit too far back at this moment in time. Came round this corner and Dylan van Baal was there. Greg van Avermaet tries. You can just see Stuyven in front, but when you're flat out like this, very, very difficult. And then Gilbert comes round the final corner, pushes for the line because he's thinking of moving up the general classification from 10th to 9th. It looks as if he did that. Tom Dumoulin rode strong today, finishing thirds and taking more seconds to increase his lead, but punches the air. Happy for Tom Dumoulin, and showed his strength over the last few days that he's a deserved winner of his first BinckBank Tour.
Yes, a new name for a race that's been with us for quite some time, formerly the Eneco, of course. And it's great that the BinckBank have taken it on, and indeed, well, the name will become more familiar, but the finish most certainly is. We saw it a few times today, but it's and maybe